Welcome to this recap of the Sacramento Kings 111-98 victory Monday night at the Golden One Center over the Portland Trailblazers. And the first of many beams to be lit this season. The beam has been lit because the Kings did win the first game of the season. They are now 1-2. And I think to sum up this game, I thought in the first half, neither team shot the ball particularly well. You had Portland, who shot at 36% in the first half. And then you had the Kings, who shot at 38% percent in the first half. And another interesting nugget is the Kings did not get the first fast break points until the 7-minute mark in the second quarter. They only had 9 fast break points this entire game. Portland had 4, so unlike Saturday night where the Kings had 16 fast break points Saturday night down in LA, just 9 here tonight against Portland. Overall, from the field, the Kings shot 45%. From 3, they took 35 threes. They made 14 of them. Shot 40% from 3. But I thought in the second half, that was the Kings that we want to see. I thought the pace was much better. Unlike that second quarter, where that second quarter was all out of whack. Like it was no flow in that second quarter, no rhythm, and a lot of that had to do with it seemed like every possession in that second quarter there was a whistle. So because of that, in the second quarter there was like no flow in that game. DeMar DeRozan was the leading scorer for both teams at the half. He had 19 points in the first half, including a buzzer beater at the end of the second quarter. But as I was saying, I thought the second half was a lot better by the Kings. They were getting stops on the defensive end. The pace was much better. I thought they were getting up down the court. Kevin Huerter in this game, I thought this was, again, being his third game back. And just being the third game overall, I thought Kevin Huerter looked really good tonight. Played 32 minutes, 18 points. He was 4-9 from 3, 7-12 from the field. And I'm going to say this. I might be in the minority when I say this, but I thought tonight, Kevin Huerter's defense was pretty solid. I know he gets a lot of flack because of his defense, but I thought defensively tonight he was really solid. And I thought in that game down in LA, he may have been a minus 29, but I thought down in LA, I thought his defense was fine. So especially when LeBron was going off there in the fourth quarter, the man that Kevin Huerter was guarding only scored 3 points during that time. So, but I think Kevin Hunter's defense has been solid so far here in 3 games. I know he's put in a lot of work on that side of the floor. So, DeMar DeRozan, 23 points, 7 of 14 from the field. Domantas Sabonis, um, double double. Let's get used to that. 16 points, 13 assists, 13 rebounds, 7 assists. Um, Keegan Murray had an off night shooting wise, but I thought he did other things to be impactful while he was on the floor. He had 8 rebounds in this game, even though he did not shoot the ball well tonight. But he, again, 8 rebounds. He was effective while he was on the floor in this game. And De'Aaron Fox, 24 points in this game, 6 rebounds. Um, he was 9 of 20 from the field. I thought Malik Monk off the bench, 18 minutes, 12 points, 3 of 6 from the field, 3 of 5 from 3-point range. And we got Keon Ellis, um, 14 minutes. And I thought, again, that Keon Ellis was effective while he was on the floor. He was 1 of 2 from 3, but I thought where he made his impact on this game was on the defensive end, as we saw last season when he came in, um, when Kevin went down with the injury last year. That's where Keon Ellis made his impact on this ball game. So you had Doug McDermott in mop up duty when the bench guys came in. His first 2 shots, 6 points from 3. So that was nice to see. But really good win against a not so good team in Portland. But I thought Portland, a team like Portland would give this Kings team fits because they're tall, athletic. I think they're the tallest team in the NBA, and the Kings, they have had trouble with bigger when they go up against bigger teams. Um, I, and I thought in the first half you saw a little bit, you saw a little bit of that in the first half. But I think once the game went on, you saw Mike Brown opening the playbook a little bit. And I think that's what we saw, especially in the second half, where it was much better with the pace and how the Kings, it was much more fun from a Kings standpoint. And I'll say this about Portland. If they get locked in all together, I could see this team being really tough to deal with once they put it all together. Because as as big as they could be an absolute problem to deal with on the defensive end. But Kings get their first win of the season, 111-98. They do have a game tomorrow uh, in Utah against the Jazz. And fortunately, that is also a back-to-back for Utah because they were in Dallas um, tonight, but Utah, they lost um, against the Mavericks, 110-102 in this game. You had Marketing played 34 minutes for Utah and Dallas. He had 17 points. Walker Kessler, Keontae George, he had 17. Colin Sexton played 27 minutes. He had 23 points. But this is a Utah Jazz that the Kings are facing tomorrow. I think they're still in that little rebuild phase of their team. They got some good players. Like Keontae George is a really good young player that they have. They have Cody Williams, the draft pick from this past draft. Uh, you got Patty Mills is on that team. John Collins. Uh, Marketing. He's always tough to deal with. It's not going to be an easy back to back tomorrow night because I think, in my opinion, I think I think that's the second toughest back to back to deal with. Obviously, Denver being the toughest back to back, but it's not going to be easy uh, tomorrow night in Utah, and that begins a road trip for the Kings where they go to Utah, then they go to Atlanta, and then they after Atlanta they have the game the next night in Toronto, and then they go to Miami to finish up that road trip. Um, and this is a stretch of games that the Kings have winnable games. You got some winnable games. Like you took care of business tonight. I would have loved to see this Kings team maybe put this Blazers team away early in the fourth. So you give your regular guys a little more time on the bench to not play as heavy minutes like they did. They all played, the starters played all in their 30s, played 30 minutes in tonight's game. And that's where this Kings team, they got to learn to put bad teams away early so you give your regular guys um, some time off in the game so you're not pushing your guys playing too much minutes when you have the front end of a back to back. So hopefully the Kings come out strong tomorrow night in Utah. So Kings get their first win of the season. They're now 1-2 after beating the Portland Trailblazers 111-98. Um, really good game. Player of the game, in my opinion, DeMar DeRozan. Um, just really fun to watch. President of the MIDI committee. Um, so happy that he won the first game. He got to light the beam in the arena, so that was excited. His first of many, hopefully, this season. And the Kings go off to Utah to face the um, Utah Jazz tomorrow night. And we'll be back with another recap following tomorrow night's game. Hopefully, it's another W to start the road trip off on a positive note. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up. That goes a long way um, through the whole algorithm here on YouTube. So thanks for tuning in to this recap here on our Kings related YouTube channel. And be kind and always go Kings and light the beam. See you next time on the Kings related YouTube channel. Thank you.